Welcome to Mental Health Monday Recovery 6. Today I'm going to be talking about empty days. It's kind of a difficult subject for people who don't suffer from mental health issues or have never experienced empty days. The kind of days when you wake up a little bit hollow. It's like there's nothing in there. Like the person you were has checked out and you're just this human shell with echoing air in it. It's not very pleasant. These days are days when things have built to a certain level and your mind sort of taps out for the day. Kind of like when you stay awake for too long and you get so tired that your body just takes over and sends you to sleep, which is why they continue into recovery, because recovery is a pretty tough time. There's a lot of stress going on, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. Stepping out into the real world is scary, to say the least. So you have this build of stress, and because you're in recovery, you don't want to confront the fact that it's stress, just in case it sets you back. So you just keep it down and keep the smile on your face, and you're like, oh, it's fine, and it's not fine, and eventually you sort of wake up tapped out because you've got nothing left. It's kind of like that whole spoon analogy. It's a 0 spoons day. You wake up with literally nothing because there's nothing in there. No person, no feelings, no nothing, just emptiness. And these days are really hard to deal with. They're hard to deal with when you are in the midst of your illness, and they're hard to deal with when you're in recovery. When I was depressed, and they would be my worst days. They would be the days that scared me the most. Mainly because it seems like you've got nothing left to fight with. You really don't know how to cope with yourself on days like that, because time just stops and everything just stops and sort of floats on. I mean, the only comfort that I used to find in it is that they normally only lasted for a day, but sometimes that day would feel like it took forever to get through, you know? I'm sure if you've been there, you do know. Recovery time, honesty has helped me. I'm just like 100% honest with myself. This is scary as shit. I'm not enjoying this on a particular level because it's scary and it's not safe like being ill was, and I will talk about that next time actually. Comfort zones. Illness is a comfort zone, and that's really scary because you would rather be in your comfort zone than be out of it. It's not the kind of out of the comfort zone that people talk about when, you know, they're trying new and different things. It's a whole new ball game, because there is nothing comforting about being mentally ill at all, and yet it is your comfort zone, it's your safety area. And stepping outside of it is one hell of a terrifying thing. So recovery is pretty much full of full-on adrenaline-fueled terror. It's hard to be well when you're not used to it. It's hard to trust it when you've not been able to trust it before. It's definitely hard to believe in your ability to do stuff when it's almost non-existent. And that's partially what causes the empty days. I mean, in my earlier recovery, I was having them quite a lot. Now I don't have them so much because I recognise the root of the problem. I recognise that it was not being honest with myself about how frightening I'm finding all of this and how difficult I'm finding all of it. So, yeah, I think honesty is your best policy. I mean, it's always good to be honest with yourself and others anyway, especially when you're struggling through difficult times. There is absolutely no point slogging on alone. Oh, for heaven's sake, talk to somebody. Be honest with yourself first and foremost, at least. If you're not going to go and talk to somebody else, at least admit to yourself that you're fucking scared. Because a lot of people, they're just like, nope, I'm not going to face it. I'm not going to face it at all, and then it's not real. And unfortunately, that kind of thinking doesn't work. So it's your choice. You can admit to yourself that you're feeling like this and find ways to counteract the results of trying to hide from it, or you can continue to hide from it and continue to have those days where you just mentally tap out, because the struggle of constantly lying to yourself about how you're feeling, on top of all the stuff that comes along with being ill or with being in recovery, it's just too much. You're asking too much of yourself mentally. You cannot be going through all of this and at the same time denying that you're going through all of it. It's pointless and it's a waste of energy, and your body will take that energy back with a day where it just doesn't let you have anything. It's just like, no, I'm done, I'm tired, and I'm having a day off, and you can just suffer this day that goes in horrendous slow motion without me, you know? So that is a very, very short video about empty days, because I don't feel like I have much to say about them. There's a real reason, I think, for me personally, and maybe it's true for other people, why they occur, and there's a real way to counteract that, and there's no need to talk about it any further, really. You hide feelings from yourself, or you don't, and you have the consequences, or you don't. Simple as that. Next time, in 2 weeks' time, like I said, I'm going to be talking about comfort zones, because I think it's about time. I think it's about time to step into talking about the comfort zone of mental illness, and I believe I've touched on it briefly before, but I'll go into a little bit more detail. And it's not going to be fun, because it's not a fun subject, but a lot of this isn't a fun subject, you know. I try and make it as light-hearted as possible sometimes, because it is quite heavy stuff. So hopefully this week was a little bit helpful, and hopefully you'll join me in 2 weeks' time to talk all about comfort zones and how they are not a good thing when they are your illness. So thank you for watching,